Hey guys, welcome back to another interview here on Toned In Entertainment. Today, I am joined by Gypsy Mac. How are you doing tonight?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're still kind of like in quarantine. Hopefully this thing will be over soon. We're at the end of May
Yeah.
2020. How have you been dealing with the whole,
Where are
like,
you actually? Where are you actually located at?
I'm in Miami, Florida.
Oh, okay. So you guys got like stuff kind of lifted. We're still on lockdown.
And you're in New Mexico, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So New Mexico is still on lockdown.
Yeah. So they like opened some restrictions, but like the malls and the gyms and stuff like that are still closed.
Okay, well here
But
today,
yeah.
yeah, today finally here in Dade County in Miami, things finally kind of are getting back to normal where like barbershops were allowed to open, malls, retail. So most of Florida's been open for like 2 weeks, but down here in Miami,
Okay.
the epicenter, the craziness, the
Yeah.
part that's not really Florida, Miami, that's finally we got today some life seen
Oh,
finally.
okay.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
New Mexico, like what part of New Mexico?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Okay, my girlfriend and I were in Roswell like 2 years ago.
Okay, that's like maybe like 3 or 4 hours away from here. It's all the aliens.
Yes. Have you ever been down to Roswell?
Yeah, there's actually a school out there that I went to go check out when I was in like high school and stuff, and it's pretty interesting. It's really small, so there's not a lot to do.
That's correct. We actually went for like the 4th of July weekend, which is like the big UFO festival weekend down
Oh
there.
wow.
And we got down there like the day before the festival, and we're like, oh, let's go check out downtown, see how it is. We drove through. I was like, wait a minute, that's it. It's like 2 blocks long.
Yeah, it was over and done with pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So, needless to say, I tell people if you want to go to, especially Roswell, New Mexico, like, don't set your standards too high. Just kind of go, pass through, enjoy an hour or 2 hours, and then move along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like Albuquerque at least has some stuff because we're a bigger city, but I still think it's small. Like we don't have a lot going on.
Okay. Yeah, because there's not much, like, independent wrestling going on out there. It's probably just, like, one company, I think, out there, if that's correct.
There's one company, DWO, but they don't really even do shows that often. They do shows like maybe once every season.
Okay, so, like, 4 times a year, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Wow, it's kind of crazy because, like, down here in Florida, like, I think we're spoiled because we've got Orlando that's like 3 hours away. So between Miami and Orlando and Tampa, which is also 3 hours from me, like, sometimes there's like 3 shows going on in each city every Saturday.
Oh wow.
Like it's crazy. Like, I cover a lot of the independents here on the channel, and it's like sometimes I'm like, okay, well, are we going to Miami this week, or Orlando, or Tampa? Or maybe we can hit both. If we hit the one in the morning, then we hit the one at night. Like, I guess we're spoiled. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's nice and it's not like kind of at the same time because I get to travel out of state all the time to go wrestle. But it does kind of like, it's kind of a bummer that there's nothing in town.
Now, as far as
Yeah.
wrestling goes, I saw that your first match ever was with Amber Nova.
Yeah, it was.
And she's pretty well known on the independent scene. That had to be pretty cool to know that you were going up against. I mean, Amber Nova's a pretty badass chick, if I do say so myself, and to go up against her, your
Yeah.
first match had to be pretty
I
cool.
wasn't expecting it like at all, too, because I was like, oh, okay, because there was supposed to be another girl there, and it might have been like a triple threat. Like we didn't really know what we were doing. And finally, when I got there, they're like, oh, you're gonna have your singles debut tonight, and I was like, oh, with who? And they're like Amber, and I was like, oh, all right. So
That's the
yeah,
thing.
it was fun. It was nice.
Yeah, that's the thing I think people have to understand about independent wrestling. I've shown up for shows and I have an interview set, and sometimes we do something like in character, and then we do like a more personal one afterwards. So I'm like, oh, and your tag team match? You're like, no, it got changed to a fatal 4-way because somebody didn't show up tonight. It's like on the fly.
Yeah, stuff is constantly changing, and that's the thing with this industry is like you have to be able to adapt so quickly because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Now, I know one of the things, I like to do a little bit of research, before I do my interviews. And we do have something in common. and that's our love for WCW.
Okay. I was actually looking. I'm a huge WCW fan. I grew up with my dad watching it, and I have this like old school blanket that's like reversible, and it has all the old guys on it. Yeah.
That's
Grew
too
up watching
sweet.
it.
Too sweet, if I must say so myself. Did you have like a favorite storyline ever in WCW?
I think I was too little to like kind of remember storylines,
Okay.
but I just always loved like Sting. Growing up, he was one that I watched a lot on WCW.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you can see back here. I've got my autographed portrait of Sting back there.
Oh wow.
You know, like I always tell people, like I go to conventions and stuff like that, and like I'm not a huge one to pay a lot of money to like do meet and greets and stuff like that. But Sting came down here like 2 years ago to Fort Lauderdale, and I set aside some money to make sure I got my meet and greet with Sting.
You had to.
Oh, I had to. I was like, if I miss it, like I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. Like Sting was my boy forever. Was Sting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now there's some rumors. Do you watch current wrestling? WWE, AEW?
I do. I kind of keep up with like current stuff that's happening because I watch mostly like the big pay-per-views still. But yeah, I don't watch like religiously, but I at least like kind of I'm in the loop.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We kind of do the same thing too. Like WWE will catch like the pay-per-views because like sometimes there's just too much to watch between all the things. But I am a religious AEW watcher. Like Wednesday night is my night to watch wrestling. I do watch AEW, and now there's some rumors that Sting might actually show up in AEW, and I'm totally gonna fanboy out if he does.
Yeah, I was reading that too. I was just looking at like news not that long ago, and I saw that there's rumors of him that he might present something, and I'm like, if he even does anything, I'd be excited.
Right. Okay. Now you were a huge. Your influences were the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Matt or Jeff?
I hate saying it, but Jeff.
Okay.
I liked more of like he was a daredevil and always wanted to jump off of stuff, and he's just crazy. So I've always been into his style of wrestling a lot more.
Okay, yeah, because Matt's more of like kind of a technician where Jeff Hardy will just jump off a 40-foot ladder and crush his body.
Yeah, like he'll use his body as a weapon if he has to, and I appreciate that about him.
Yeah. I know one of the things I know he'll never live down is that match he had with Sting and Impact that time. He showed up drunk to the match, and I think to this day, like, he'll never live that match down.
Yeah, I'm like, we just don't talk about his times.
Right. But Matt's doing some pretty big things now. He's in AEW. He's teaming up with like Kenny Omega now, and they're going against Jericho and all these guys now. So it's pretty interesting what Matt's doing now.
Yeah, I've been actually watching that. So I do watch AEW pretty frequently just because, like, a lot of the guys that work on AEW, I've met them through, like, shows. So I'm, like, interested to see what they're doing. So I do keep up with AEW, and I've been seeing that. So I think it's really cool that they're letting Matt kind of do what he wants with his character.
Right, yeah, no, it's and they've been doing some really good things with the independent wrestlers too, which has been nice. Like Fabu Andre, who I've interviewed once before, and then I interviewed him again. He wrestled John Moxley one night, which was pretty awesome. I know he was super excited about that. 2 hours from now, I'm interviewing Chico Adams. He wrestled Jake Hagar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wrestled Jake Hagar.
Right.
He's been on WWE recently. But I've got a couple more in the works for next week. I don't want to say them in case they don't come through.
Yeah,
but we've talked to a few guys that have been on AEW recently. Got some interviews lined up. So I really love the fact that they're kind of going like that little old school way right now and showing a lot of love to the independent wrestlers and giving, the wrestlers a little chance to shine that normally wouldn't get to.
Yeah, it's really nice that they do that, and that's what I actually really like about that company is they do work with a lot of indie people.
Right. Now, here on Toned In Entertainment, we're more than just wrestling. We've got movie reviews, and we've got music videos, and we've got comic books and all this other good stuff. I want to ask Gypsy Mac, if you had just a Saturday afternoon and you had to pick one movie to watch, what movie would you pick?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I like so many different types of movies. That's what makes it so difficult for me, but...
Well, it's a Saturday afternoon, and it's raining, and maybe you've got 3 movies to watch during the day. No pressure.
I would probably... Okay. If we were doing 3 movies, I would definitely watch Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
I watch that movie at least once a month, and usually when it's raining, so funny coincidence. Favorite Harry Potter. And then I love the movie Grind. It's like an old 2000s movie about skateboarding, because I skated growing up. So I've always loved it, and I don't get to watch it that frequently, because I'm always traveling or working or practicing, so.
Okay. And then one more, that's 2 movies.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls, okay. That's a definitely guilty pleasure type movie, I think, is Mean Girls.
It really is, and I feel like that's how you should treat yourself, on those Saturdays.
Okay. Mean Girls is a lot of fun. That's one of the ones I've seen. I'm not a huge into the Harry Potter stuff, and Grind I've never heard of, but it sounds interesting. But, yeah, I've seen Mean Girls.
Can you quote the movie?
Of Mean Girls? No.
Yeah.
No.
At least you haven't seen it that many times. I don't, shut up when I'm watching it. I'll just quote it the entire time. It's pretty bad.
Okay, well, that's me with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll sit there and quote the entire movie the entire time, and I'm sure, it's... My girlfriend's sitting there with me, and I'm like, no, he's going to do that, he's going to do this. It's like, okay.
And she's just like...
Yeah. It's like I give color commentary like I'm watching wrestling when I watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah. It happens.
Now, do you have, any pre-match rituals, anything that you kind of do before you get ready for a match?
I usually try and listen to music just to kind of get me in the zone and ready, and other than that, that's really all I kind of do is just listen to one specific band.
Okay.
Because they kind of help me through a lot of stuff. It's my favorite band. They're called Dance Gavin Dance.
Okay. I've never heard of them.
I'll usually listen to a song or 2 and then just kind of.
And that's what gets the adrenaline running and get you ready for your match.
Yeah, I kind of hype myself up and just kind of clear my mind.
Okay.
Because I'm a high flyer, so I can't think too much or do too much before I go and do a match, because it is kind of, dangerous, of course, getting up there. So I just like to get in that zone and focus. Right.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. Everybody knows it's sports entertainment, but we've been at matches where, we've seen a match outside of the ring, and we've seen the poor girl get her head knocked on the concrete and lifted out, on a stretcher. It's like, what you guys do is legit and it's dangerous, and a lot of people don't have the appreciation for it, but, we've seen it firsthand. It can be scary if one thing can go wrong in that ring.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't usually do anything too crazy, but just, kind of get focused, get in that zone, and just kind of clear my headspace so that way I'm able to think on my feet out there.
Okay. What was the one thing that made you say, you know what, I'm going to try this. I want to try professional wrestling?
So growing up, I've always loved it. Watched it with my family and everything. I always was like, oh, I want to do it. But watching WWF, girls were always just super skinny and models, and that's what they did. And it wasn't until I found the indies that I was like, oh, these girls actually wrestle, and they're actually athletic, and they're just not there to be a pretty face in the ring. So it was around that time that I was like, yeah, I think I can do this. And I was actually a heavier set girl, and I lost a lot of weight. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I can do this, mentally, physically, everything, I'm ready. So I found a school, and they took me in, and after that, the rest was history. I didn't have, any hesitation once I started. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
That's pretty awesome, because, I interviewed many women here in the independent scene, and a lot of seems to be the same consensus is that, growing up when they were young girls, it was bra and panties matches and pillow fights and stuff like that. Or the matches were not very good, to be perfectly honest, where it was oh, the women's match is coming on, I'm going to the concession stand, or I'm going to go make myself a sandwich. But now, the ladies, they're main event in WrestleMania. They've got some of the best matches on the show, and not only the main event in WrestleMania, but main event in many, weekly shows as well. And it's a high level of competition out there.
Yeah, it's really nice and refreshing to see a different side of women's wrestling come out. And especially, too, I actually kind of had a hard time finding someone to train me because I am a female.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't want to take that risk because sometimes it has like a bad name, or they just don't think girls have what it takes to be able to do it.
Okay.
And it's nice to be able to see myself breaking down those barriers and see people that are on TV doing it, main eventing. Even like Tessa is a champion for a belt that has only been held by men. And I even love intergender wrestling too, because it shows that, like, hey, yeah, I'm a girl, but I can do what you would do in the ring, probably even better.
Yeah, I got to meet Tessa Blanchard. I was backstage at one of the independent shows, and she wrestled Big Swole that night, the show that we were at.
Oh, okay.
And Big Swole's in AEW now. She wasn't there when the match happened, but Tessa has legitimately broke down a lot of barriers. But I've seen some of your matches online too, and you have no problem mixing it up with the fellas as well.
No. I'm actually the only female at training, too. So that's just, I'm used to it. I'm just used to wrestling guys. It wasn't until I actually got in the ring with Amber that was the first time I wrestled a female.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just used to it, but it's kind of crazy for everyone else to kind of see it.
Right, especially probably maybe in like the smaller territories. I mean, down here we have some great independent wrestlers like Kylie King. She's one of our favorites down here, and she has no problem slugging it out with the guys, and she'll take them pound for pound. That's for sure down here. So it's great to see, and like you said, Tessa Blanchard is doing big things over in Impact, and it's really great to see that there's still barriers, but they're being blurred in 2020.
Yeah. Which is nice, because, I mean, we're all consenting people to be doing this in the ring, so it shouldn't matter if I'm wrestling a girl or a guy or someone that's transgender. Like, it doesn't matter. We're in there to show that we have what it takes to be with the best of them.
Yeah. Did any of your family members freak out when they found out that maybe you were wrestling a guy?
Yeah, like, my grandma kind of is still weird about it and stuff, but she's kind of coming around. I grew up with older brothers, and they were always fighting with me, so my parents kind of expected it, I think.
Okay.
But it's my grandma that kind of freaks out.
Well, grandmas are supposed to freak out, right?
Yeah, right. And they're not really being a grandma if they don't.
Yeah. Now, when you're finished that big match, you've had that big match of the night, and it's time to chow down. What food are you going for? What is like that recovery meal that you like to have?
I hate saying this, but like after the shows, I always get In-N-Out because we're in Arizona most of the time, and we don't have that out here, so I usually get In-N-Out.
Okay, yeah, I was out in California about a year and a half ago, and I think we waited like an hour and 10 minutes for an In-N-Out burger. We were down in LA where Hollywood is and everything, and we're on the East Coast. There's no In-N-Out burgers here. So like we're like, no, we're gonna have In-N-Out burger. It's right here. We're like, oh, it's 2 blocks from the hotel. Yeah, but it took an hour and 10 minutes to get an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
So grab it when you can.
Yeah, I hate saying that.
There's nothing
For the
wrong.
most part, I try and eat pretty healthy, but when you're working shows, sometimes you don't have an option because In-N-Out is like all that's open, and it's became kind of like a routine at this point.
Well, it's pretty much the same because like when we're doing interviews, and sometimes we have to go up to Orlando 3 hours, and you finish at 11 o'clock. It's like Burger King. It's the only thing you're going to get before you make that drive back. So it is what it is, but I'd rather have In-N-Out burger than Burger King, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, right now, you're selling like some 8x10 autographs, and you've got T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I'm also launching, I'm thinking about doing a couple of other things, whether it's like hats or bandanas.
Okay.
And I also, I'm in the process of getting stickers as well.
Okay, nice. I actually just my girlfriend got these for me the other day. These amazing Toned In Entertainment stickers. I know you can't see it because of the light.
Oh, nice.
But I finally got stickers to hand out when we finally can see real people again in person and not have to do interviews over the phone. So I'm very excited for that.
It's so weird, like, not having human interaction.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we've kind of like we were talking about here in South Florida. It depends on where you're at, but and it depends what you're under as well. I just did a video for Gangrel last week, and his thing, he's doing a big charity event, but he is a non-for-profit, 401cc, I believe that's what it is, correct? So he was actually able to. They're not a gym; they're a nonprofit, so they're able to have very small. Have to follow the CDC guidelines, and it was the first interaction I've had with people out of work and family in 2 months. Was when I went and did some interviews with him and the students last week to promote the event for this weekend. So it was really cool, actually, to see people again. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and at least it was something that you actually like to do too.
Right.
Yeah, so that's nice. I can't wait for that to be able to happen again.
Yeah, is there any idea? I know down here people are starting to plan for maybe September for their first independent shows, or July even. Do you have any idea of when your next event might be?
So I work out of town, out of state a lot, and my next one was supposed to be in Denver on the 30th of June. But I don't know if you saw, I tore my ACL, so I have to get surgery, so I'm not going to be able to do anything for a little bit.
That's right. I did see that. I think you posted that about a week or two ago about, your torn ACL. So that's 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks or so, right?
So with the surgery that I have to get, it's going to put me out of action for at least 8 months.
8 months, okay.
8 months, yeah.
Oh.
So I can't even be in the ring for 8 months, maybe 6 if my recovery and stuff goes good. But I'm still wanting to at least maybe valet, do something to still, get on shows, but at least probably 10 weeks before I'm even able to do that.
Okay. Well, you know what? If there's any time to have a surgery, it might be now, because everybody's planning for September. But every time we go by, something else keeps getting canceled and delayed and postponed. So it might be 6 months before anything happens anyway. So
yeah. So, and then, hey, I'll be healed and it'll be fine.
Stronger than ever. Ready to go.
Yeah. Not missing out on anything.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there anything else that we should know about Gypsy Mac while we have you here?
Just, keep an eye out on me. Like I said, I'm going to be out of action for 8 months, but I'm one to stay in the spotlight, so I'm planning on doing vlogs and different things just to kind of get to know me more outside of the ring. And then also, like I said, to just be doing valet work or even just traveling and going and working shows, whatever I have to do to kind of just keep that spotlight on me, because I'm going to make it on AEW or WWE one day, and everyone's going to regret not having my back to begin with.
I love the confidence. I love it. And if people want to get one of those 8x10s or the pro wrestling tees or follow you on Instagram, where can people look you up at?
So my Instagram is going to be the.gypsy, gypsy.mac with just a C. That's going to be my Instagram handle. And then I'm also on Facebook, Gypsy Mac on Facebook, prowrestlingtees.com/Gypsy Mac. And I'm also on YouTube if you want to check my matches and other interviews and stuff I've done. I've uploaded a lot of content on there. And my 8x10s, I don't sell them on any website. You can just contact me through Instagram or Facebook.
All right, perfect. Awesome, Gypsy. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on Toned In Entertainment tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun, and you take care of yourself. Hopefully wrestling doesn't come back in 6 months. Hopefully it's sooner.
Yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of hope. We've got some AEW live going again, and WWE's going live again. So we're moving it in progress. We're moving it in progress. It's about the indies, though, because without people in the stands, there's no money to be made. There's no shows. So we got to get a way to have people safe, back in the crowd, and that way everybody can have some fun again.
Yeah, 100%. So everyone stay safe, and thanks for having me again.
All right, Gypsy. All right, have a good night. And guys, if you like interviews like this, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.